Yes, I'm talking about the good life, the food. And today we thought, why not do something fun that borderlines on food that a lot of us enjoy, that a lot of you enjoy, and that a lot of you have christened happily the Great Indian Yum Yum Show. The Filter Copy. Today, we're also potentially with coffees that look like coffees have egos. You have that flat white, which is 450 rupees plus GST.
One more thing I'll add to that is don't get involved in the complexity and the complex terminologies that people use. A good way to start is decide if you like it or don't like it.
How much contact with the water and how much of flavor that comes out is the key.
Bangalore has always traditionally been a filter coffee hub, but then now you're getting... It's also a city that picks up on global trends quite fast.
If you enjoy a good burger, Al-Sur, Maverick and Farmer.
Incredible.
There's a good bean called Say Hello to Mellow that they make. And it is such a delicate, nice banana berry flavored.
Tara by the Lake. Nobody does lamb cutlets in Bangalore like Tara by the Lake.
Drip and drop coffee. Thecha bagel. Thecha is essentially a Marathi thing made up of green mirchi and green chili, and you amalgamate it with other food. They have an open bagel which has thecha on top, and Aadil, you will sweat from all sides if you have that bagel. Do you want to talk about matcha?
Let's talk about it. Why not? Why not? आप करो matcha.
तू मचाओ.
कि जो भी cool दिखने के लिए matcha पी रहे हैं, it tastes like grass.
We'll wrap this up with a section called the Yum Yum Awards. Let's talk about my favorite one. Most overhyped in Bangalore.
Haraku.
इससे कुछ है ही नहीं है, सब अच्छा ही है.
कुछ तो बोलना पड़ेगा.
Sorry.
If you don't say anything, we will assume सबको.
मेरे घर पे My house is overhyped. Chalo. Their almond prashant is so good.
Lights flashing bright, we're on the go. Tune in now, there's so much to know. Earning bits, travel dreams we sow. All aboard the Great Indian Points and Miles Show. Zero to hero in the blink of an eye. Fly first class, no need to be shy. Redemption sweet, touching the sky. Award seats booked, let's give it a try. Award seats booked, let the points flow. It's all aboard the Great Indian Points and Miles Show. Unlocking journeys wherever you go. The sky's the limit, feel the travel mojo.
Hello and welcome to a very fun episode of the Great Indian Points and Miles Show. Over the last few months, we've had some riveting discussions. We've talked about flying to Singapore in the Singapore Airlines first class suites. We've talked about burning those access points on Qatar Airways Privilege Club and enjoying the amazing Q Suites experience. We've talked about traveling to Japan. Dhimant and Ameya have talked about their experiences all the way to Italy and then some. While we were doing all this, we also talked a lot about hotels, about hospitality, and another thing that was very, very close to our heart, which a lot of you requested that you wanted more of. Yes, I'm talking about the good life, the food. And today we thought, why not do something fun that borderlines on food that a lot of us enjoy, that a lot of you enjoy, and that a lot of you have christened happily the Great Indian Yum Yum Show. So we're going to be talking to you about our very first episode dedicated to only and only about the Great Indian Yum Yum Show that talks a lot about what is one of the other sides of life that we enjoy, which is particularly cafes, food, and culture. Welcome to this particular special episode. Let me introduce our guests for today. Like always, we've got someone who is as good with cafes and coffee as a barista is good with his or her notes. Ladies and gentlemen, Dhimant, one of the co-founders of the Great Indian Points and Miles Show. Welcome, Dhimant.
Thank you so much, Aadil. Good morning. Good that we're doing this podcast right in the morning so we can have this with our coffee cup.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's bring in the double dip guy. Like you know, we'll also call him the double sip guy with his Americano and his flat whites. Ameya.
Not Americanos. I prefer other things, but thank you.
Welcome, Ameya. We've got a very fun guest this time around. We've got Vivek Vishwanathan. Now, Vivek has done fascinating things in life. He's been a photographer. he's been a director, he's been a producer, but at the current moment, he is living the good life at a very, very cool brand called Subko. Vivek, welcome to the Great Indian Points and Miles show, Aka the Yum Yum show.
Thank you so much. We're going to have some yummy conversations and hopefully it's going to be fun.
Absolutely.
Now I have too much to live up to because I've been introduced as the fun guy, but
You forgot coffee snob in his description.
please, coffee liker, guys, coffee liker, because I've been told I'm a snob, but I'm not. I'm as I like my coffee as much as a layman will do, but maybe like a little bit of masala over and over that. But yeah, it's not a snob, not a snob.
So the other fun fact about Vivek is he's also sold coffee machines in the past, which means we're hoping the man has good taste, and I've been told he does. But then he also knows the art and science behind how a good coffee is brewed and made, and we'll try and bring those nuances to life today, and we'll get into the science of things.
For sure.
So with that, gentlemen, shuru kare? All right, let's get started. So if you think about Bangalore, right? So Bangalore, we started with the humble origins of our filter copy. And then from the filter copy, today, we're also potentially with coffees that look like coffees have egos. You have that flat white, which is 450 rupees plus GST. And then you have that Americano. And then I've discovered something lately that I've been just binging, which is the lovely Vietnamese cold coffee, which is served with condensed milk. And anything sweet, because I have sweet teeth, I go crazy over. But Bangalore's also about, different vibes, different zones. You go somewhere into, this coffee place and suddenly people are with laptops, MacBooks, wired Apple Beats headphones, glued into their work, do not disturb me zones. But at the same time, there's always this fun bunch of friends sitting and talking. And then if you see, there's a couple who's kind of potentially dating. So you've got all kinds of avenues. You've got all kinds of vibes. Let's start with a vibe check. Dhimant, आपका vibe क्या है? What kind of coffee do you enjoy? What kind of places do you like going to? Bangalore में, what's your signature coffee experience like?
Let me give you a short idea of how I started this journey, right, of exploring cafes, right? And I think in 2010-14, when the whole world was working from offices and it was work from home was never something which was happening. Yeah, but I was working from home in 2010, right, with my organization called Dell. And I realized that it's very hard to work from home, right? So I started going to cafes. And the first cafe I remember where I used to work from almost every day was a cafe called Java Cafe in Goregaon East. That's where my love started, right? It's right next to Royal Challenge.
Yeah.
And you start meeting all these different kinds of people. One guy is an advertiser. He's talking about, kya chal raha hai creatively. Then one person is talking about probably the latest movie shoot that they're doing. Because in Bombay, you meet more often and not actors and all of those people, right? So that's where my journey started. But the vibe check started from me going and asking for Wi-Fi. I mean, that's what my earlier vibe check was. But now it's about where can I get good variety of coffee at the right price point. Honestly, that's my current vibe. And I've also been through that phase, Aadil, where I would judge a place by the cost of the coffee and say, oh, 400 rupees coffee hai to bahut acha hoga. But I realized slowly that that's not the case. The passion and the love for coffee doesn't come from the price point of the coffee, right? So that's my current vibe check. Where do I love walking in? Anywhere I see a passionate barista, right? That's my place to start.
How do you find this passionate barista? Ye to hard hai na? It's like your typical finding the quintessential RM that you love at a particular bank, because they are very few and they're very hard to recognize. So, iska recipe kya hai? And let's talk about 1 or 2 or 3 of your favorite places in Bangalore and why.
Sure. I think, again, Vivek may disagree with me, but I think I've seen enough to say that a good barista necessarily doesn't need to talk about beans or the type of bean or the, complexity of the bean. Because a lot of us, like when we try wine also, a lot of us don't understand really what's happening and we tend to feel left out. So I feel a good barista is about knowing what kind of time of the day it is and what kind of coffee you need at that point of time and asking you that, right? For example, somebody asked me the other day saying, okay, do you really need a strong kick right now? let's just have a good Americano, right? Versus somebody saying, "Yaar, do you want to have a cappuccino and a croissant?" Because you look in that zone where you want to just
Yeah.
sit and have fun.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of solo coffee exploration, right? My wife is a essential tea person. You can imagine the battles that
Plus
happen at
one.
home. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know, every day हमारे घर पे एक बंदा आधा घंटा चाय बना रहा है, एक घंटा आधा घंटा कॉफी बना रहा है, right? So we go through that phase, and hence I do a lot of solo traveling.
Did
right?
Vivek manage to sell you one of his machines?
Well, there's a long story behind it. We'll talk about it. By the way, because you bring that topic up, I think it fascinates me how Vivek has helped a lot of cafes set up equipment, right? Because I was in that phase when I used to travel a lot, try to understand how these cafes economics work. So I routinely call him.
हाँ.
I call him to say कि यार बताओ कितना कैफेज पे ब्रेक इवन होता है, बताओ कितने लोग खाली बैठे, खाना क्यों बेचना है. All of this we keep discussing, right? Coming back to the point, मेरे mind में it's a good barista is always about that guy who asks you what time of the day is and what coffee is right for you, right? Not necessarily about beans, right? At least that's my point of view.
Right. Ameya, let's come to you. So those of you who know Ameya, you know that his work persona is that he works in tech. And the flavor of the season today is AI. And Ameya has also been doing a lot of reading, a lot of researching, a lot of experimenting, a lot of coding using traditional AI models versus new age AI models. अब इसके साथ when you try and look at cafes, आजकल काफी यूनिक स्टफ होता है, राइट, मार्केट में. Like you will suddenly see that there is this croissant which is a cross between a croissant and a sandwich. You will see that there is this cross between a croissant and a muffin, and it's called a cruffin. And inside they'll have this vanilla bean custard that suddenly comes out. So these days you're suddenly seeing in Bangalore ki yaar, there are these people who have PhDs in baking who are doing food at cafes, right? But there are also humble origins. Like you started with basically, if somebody can give me a simple, good grilled cheese sandwich. That's how you started with, right? और आज जो हम कैफे में रिकॉर्ड कर रहे हैं, their signature is the kaya toast. And if you love Southeast Asia and you've traveled there, everybody enjoys a good kaya toast. So what are the trends you've been noticing? Micro trends. जैसे आपके AI world में आप देखते हो, we were talking about it yesterday also. What are the micro trends in the coffee business, in the coffee shops that you've been witnessing, and what fascinates you?
Before getting into that, first shout out, Fast Coffee's Kaya Toast, very tasty. I think they make their own jam. It's very nice. But I think let's get into some of the trends, right? And I am someone who has a keen eye on, figuring out. So in the coffees themselves. So I think number one, the coffee brewing methods itself. So I think Bangalore has always traditionally been a filter coffee hub. But then now you're getting, it's also a city that picks up on global trends quite fast. So you're getting a lot of people doing the AeroPresses and a lot more of the pour-overs nowadays. That's one side of things with respect to how the coffee itself is getting made. The bigger trend though I see is with respect to different types of coffees across the world. You called out the Vietnamese style coffee with condensed milk, which is a big thing in a lot of cafes. Butternut squash is the other thing that's been doing a lot of rounds across the city from what I've noticed. There's a few more. Let me try to remember. So I've become, I think, a lot more warmed up, or rather cooled down in some sense, to the cold brews over time. Early on, I didn't necessarily like them, but I'm really liking the places which do the cold brews with a little bit of flavoring to it. I think it's the Indianness comes out with that. In fact, the barista at office, incidentally, so the guy makes this excellent chili guava cold brew. Man, the flavors just mix right. There's another great place in HSR, I think Banoffee. They do an orange cold brew. That's also quite good. So cold brews has definitely been one more. Let's see, what are the trends or unique things I've noticed? The espresso tonics. Those have been awesome. And I think Vivek can talk more about the one at Subko, and they make it really nicely. But I think they just mix well. There's something about that flavor combination that you feel like, yes, I've had a nice drink.
All right, Vivek, we'll come to you. With the new age cafes now, with all this fancy design and amazing interiors, is coffee just about aesthetics? That is the big question that everybody wants to know. India wants to know. Or is there more substance to it? Like, why is a particular coffee priced at a particular price point? We were talking about a couple of coffees just now before we started recording, and you were saying, man, the cogs are so bloody high because the quality of ingredients commands a particular premium. And if you try and cut that down, then the soul of the coffee is lost. So break it down for us. Like, what is the soul of the coffee? How do you describe it? And talk about the economics of coffee making and the coffee business as you see it across the country.
Sure. So I'll not use too much jargons here.
Yeah.
I will not use too much of math also here, so that people don't get intimidated. There are different ways of looking at it. Like, for example, are you a coffee first cafe?
Yeah.
Or are you a cafe which serves coffee?
Yeah.
Right. Very different viewpoints on how you want to kind of enthuse your customers to come in. Right. So a coffee first cafe will always look at coffee as their hero product, right?
Yeah.
So that's, you're going to use high quality beans, you're going to use, you're going to be a purist in every sense, so that you target the creme de la creme people who know their coffee really well, right? So you can't, we are allowed to swear, right? Because you can't bullshit with your coffee there. And you have a coffee as a secondary product where your bakes will be standout, your food will be standout, and coffee is like maybe let's order a coffee on the go, right? So there are two different approaches which is there. One of the main things to understand is there are also a few categories of coffee.
Okay.
So coffee is actually a cherry that becomes a seed. There's a lot of processing that involves, and then you get the beans that you see in your grinder, the beans that you see in your grinder. So you have specialty coffee, which is the best grade of coffee. Then you have commercial coffee, which is for the secondary cafes who just want to kind of mix it with milk and serve it. And you have instant coffee, which is like it serves instant gratification, right? So these are primarily the 2 to 3 grades that we have in coffee. So when you go to a coffee, like a coffee first cafe where I don't want to use the word, like a coffee aficionado wants to go.
Yeah.
You
did use it.
I was going to use
You
something.
used
I
it.
was going to say something else. I had to like change it in the last minute, but like a coffee aficionado wants to go. You'll have a lot of like, I personally, I think it's also because I come from the coffee machine. This thing, I look at the machine, I say, would I want to have a cup of coffee here, right? So it does play a lot of role in how I judge a particular cafe. I'm just saying this as a personal experience because it's, I think, collateral damage in my head to say I know what grinder, what machine, so maybe the coffee is going to taste good. Then I'll break it down to what beans are you using. The barista usually choose Arabica, Robusta, but they will never say which estate it is from. So I have my own, like a few favorites that I personally like. So I'll also judge the coffee there. But overall, these are the criteria that you look at when you're kind of going to a cafe. And of course, there are the ambience, the food. I also have I have a sweet tooth as well. So I love my cappuccinos with a croissant or like Subko serves this beautiful espresso croissant. Oh my God, it's crazy good. And they also have this thing called Nolan Gur flat white. It is a dessert for this thing, right? So so it depends on the mood also. Is it a Monday, Friday? Is it a weekend? Since I work in the coffee world, I also like brewing coffee at home. Like I spend more time at home drinking my cup of coffee than going to a cafe and drinking a cup of coffee. So mota, that's what.
See, you touched a very important nerve by going to sweet tooth, and particularly what you described. I have sweet teeth. So speaking about Subko.
No. So before you start, let me warn him. Like if you talk about Nolan Gur in between, he's going to go on a tangential, and me and Ameya play the role of ensuring that he comes back to the topic. So go on.
Speaking about Subko, I'll tell you what people should go to Subko and absolutely try. One, they have this incredible pistachio chocolate cookie. So it's got the cookie dough outside, but inside it's got this amazing pistachio, ganache, kanafa kind of filling. Man, $450 plus GST for a damn cookie. Okay? But you attain nirvana if you have that cookie.
But it's also filling.
It's so good.
But it's also very filling. Like you're actually full, and I am a heavy eater. You eat that one cookie and you're good.
Yeah. No two ways about
Health influencers are going to kill this episode.
It is.
I'm telling you.
It is. No, it's seriously good. It is ridiculously yum. First. The second thing, you have a very interesting thing there called a Haleem quiche. oh man, you go to Hyderabad for Haleem. It's so good. But now you're taking something that I really love, puff pastry. And you're blending the two together and bringing it to life. Bhai sahab, kyun kar rahe ho? Right? Because one, you're talking about healthy eating. Ye guilt hai pura. But it's so bloody good. That's the second thing. The third thing, you have these amazing sandwiches. And there's one particular sandwich that has pesto in it. Again, like supremely good. And as if all this was not enough, you all introduced a croissant which has chocolate cake inside. So again, like Subko knows its food. Coffee, I think I'll let Ameya and Dhimant expert because I don't understand coffee as much. But the food, if someone's nailed food in coffees, Subko's number one on top.
I think before you finish the Subko part of it, right? I like huge shout out to the Ratnagiri beans that they use. Like it's mind blowing. Okay, again, at the end of the day, how the coffee tastes is more important than the bean itself. But love that. Right, so just going to end the Subko conversation here, but I want to add something to what Vivek said, and this is very critical for people who are our regular listeners to understand how this coffee world works, right? Because he spoke about grinders, he spoke about various things, mechanisms, right? The analogy that I want to give to people today is there is another community that I can relate to the, the way we call it coffee snobs or the coffee elitist, right? There is another community like that. And there is a reason why I'm mentioning this. There's a community called the Audiophiles, right? I happen to be one of them, right? Who appreciates audio a lot, right? So for example, you'll find a lot of expensive audio equipment in my house. I still listen to CDs, vinyls, all of those stuff, right? But let me tell you one thing, right? Just like audios, even for coffee, the limit is where you stop. You can go to as expensive equipments as you want. You can make it as complex as you want. But the joy lies in listening to that music. The joy is not collecting that equipment, right? So for me, I think the way I have taken my journey through is when I had like a basic Nescoffee, it was important that when I put it in hot water, does that coffee is making me happy or not? Similarly, when I moved to a French press, like, is it giving me joy? The moment you feel like, okay, I need more, that is when you jump. You don't jump because somebody told you to buy a machine. That is super critical. I jumped to an espresso machine only when I went to Italy and I saw the reason why I needed one, right? Obviously, I could have taken the jump 6 years before. So what my recommendation and my suggestion on this is, as long as you're enjoying your coffee, stay there. Live that part, then move on. Like, don't be in a FOMO to say, yaar, mujhe next bada grinder lena hai, next mujhe machine lena hai. Only then I am a coffee appreciator. I don't think that's the case. I just wanted to add that because you're talking about coffee.
So I'll add to what he was saying. So coffee makes me happy. Okay, like that's a given, right? So I love drinking coffee. I drink maybe 1 cup a day or maybe 2 cups a day, but I want it to be right, like right for me. I don't know what other people might say about how I make my coffee, but I make it really well for me, right? So it's a personal journey that I have. And I actually, when I met Dhimant, I mean, he was somewhere in the mix of, I want to buy an espresso machine, I don't want to buy an espresso machine. And I was like, buy something that you're going to use every single day, or go to a cafe, choose, like there's, I think every cafe out there, at least in Bangalore, has a manual brew, like a pour over or a AeroPress or a French press, and has espresso based beverages like an espresso, cappuccino, flat white. Choose what you like most, like what will you be ready to drink every single day, right? There was a hypothesis that we had when I had joined Kapi Machines and Something Brewing. I had a hypothesis, so I was also helping people who like coffee to make cafe like coffee at home, right? So I had a hypothesis, is it that a person who starts with a French press eventually moves to an espresso machine? And I realized it need not be so. A person who would want to call himself or herself an aficionado can be amazing at brewing a French press and still experiment with beans, right? Like taking a light roast, I've never seen this happen, but taking a light roast and making a fantastic cup of coffee on a French press would be something that I wouldn't have heard of, right? So you don't need to spend too much, but you can of course keep experimenting, because the same coffee bean tastes differently when it is brewed differently, right? So
but the outcome of that also is that, okay, we all are Bangalore boys in some way because we lived in Bangalore for long now, right? Like, for example, if you are somebody who loves his filter coffee every day, you don't need to worry about मैं कौन सा coffee पी रहा हूँ. Like, for example, confession, like every day I have a filter coffee, no matter what happens. Like, I may have the most complex brewing machines at my house, but I love my filter coffee. And similar to, let's say, what happens in Singapore. People have complex machines, but they have their own copy, right? They love it, right? I mean, that's how we should think about it in my view.
I will slightly disagree with you on that. You need the right machine for filter coffee also sometimes.
No. I didn't say that. I'm saying even for what I meant was like the complexity doesn't define your joy. Like that's
No,
what I'm
yeah,
trying
I
to-
think your joy is important, absolutely. But like, yeah, you get into filter coffee nuances, you get into like, yeah, how much chicory do you want? Where do you want to get your coffee
Yeah,
from? What machine do you use to make it? Like, I think, for instance, like, I've probably been using this for 20, 22, 23 years. There is this Jayanagar brand called Preeti. They make traditionally your grinders, wet grinders and all for heavy
Yeah.
duty.
That one, okay.
But Preeti makes one of the best filter coffee machines
What are
ever.
you saying?
Yeah.
It is that I am guaranteed that one.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
my mother uses that same filter coffee machine to use. Yeah.
So what I'm deciphering from what the three coffee pundits are saying is like, don't restrict yourself from that joy. Go have that coffee. It's very much like, don't just hoard points, burn them.
Exactly.
And don't be worried कि अरे मेरे को मजा नहीं आया तो अरे go and experience it ना, next time course correct कर लेना, अगली बार कहीं और चले जाना, right? So don't just collect points, burn them. At the same time, just go try and enjoy, and then figure out what gives you
Yeah.
more joy, and then double down.
One more thing I'll add to that is don't get involved in the complexity and the complex terminologies that people use. Like a good way to start is decide if you like it or don't like it. Very basic. Like if you go to a cafe, you say like I'm having like a pour over coffee today. My simple thing is, do I like it? Don't like it? Will I have it every day, or will I have it once in a blue moon? Right. So that also kind of gives you the unit economics of how it's going to be at home. It's
the same thing, no, Vivek? Like, for example, we all have been in parties where somebody has served you wine and asked you, can you taste the notes? I genuinely cannot. I've not been able to do it throughout my life. But there is so much of peer pressure to say, कि अच्छा आपको ये different. Honestly, I cannot make the difference between a Sula and an Italian wine. I'm being honest. Like, but in coffee, I can maybe, right? But same thing is true for coffee as well. If you cannot make the difference, just see what you like, what your palate, like.
and you'll be surprised by the number of people who don't understand it. Okay, I'll be very honest with you. I'll give you something like some like numbers of.
You know, when you all were talking about, मेरे दिमाग में यही चल रहा था. Have you seen that Hindi meme? समझ में नहीं आया, लेकिन
मजा बहुत
सुन के अच्छा लगा.
मजा बहुत आया.
Same thing was going on here, but I'm glad that you're saying that not everybody has to understand, क्योंकि मेरे को तो समझ में नहीं आता.
I'm going to take a mid path and say what you might not know. Because I come from nostalgia, so I love it.
एक काम करते हैं, nostalgia past में है,
हाँ.
future बहुत दूर है,
हाँ.
present में बात करते हैं. What are you having now?
I'm having a pour over.
Describe that. मेरे को नहीं समझ में आता. What is pour over?
So it's been ground. There's a pour over grind size. There's a temperature of 91. I'm just kidding. I don't know.
No, but actually, like, what is a pour over? How is it different from the normal
Okay.
coffees that we have?
Okay, so pour over is primarily like slow brewed coffee. It doesn't have any. It doesn't have an equipment that is. It's not brewed under pressure.
Okay.
Okay, so like if you look, I'll give you an example. So espresso is brewed under pressure.
ठीक है.
Okay, there's about 9 to 12 bars of pressure, which giving you context again. Pahalwan who's maybe 100 200 kg Pahalwan who's standing on an aeropress, and if he's like standing on that and pressing it, that'll give you maybe a 0.5 to 1 bar of pressure.
Yeah.
So now when you look at an espresso machine, that's giving you 9 to 12 bars of pressure. So that small, so you have something that you put your coffee in, which is called portafilter. You have coffee that is finely ground, and you have 9 bars of pressure going through that. So the amount of pressure that is there, it kind of extracts
Yeah.
the coffee under pressure, right?
Yeah.
So that's brewing under pressure.
ठीक है.
You have French press, that is an immersion brew where the water and coffee are always in contact.
Okay.
Okay, and pour over mein, what happens is so this is a V60. So there is a equipment that is like a ceramic or plastic. You have a filter paper, so it's called a filter way of making. It's called filter coffee.
ठीक है.
Because what happens in filter coffee is that in this type of filter coffee, your essential oils are removed in the filter coffee.
ठीक है.
So you're going to get a very clean cup of coffee. So you can sip on this through like for an hour or so. Even if it gets cold, it's just a light, delicate brew that you have.
So Aadil, the way it works is like there are two essential things in the coffee world, right? One, what is the quality of the bean that you're using? Then there is obviously the grind size, but the grind size is important because how much contact with the water and how much of flavor that comes out is the key, right? So for example, like he said, the more delicate the bean, you need less pressure, more time with the bean, or
Yeah.
like that's how it works, right? But espresso is very lethal, right? It just puts pressure and 30 seconds ke andar you get your brew. So it is generally used for, so that's why people will ask you कि when I'm going to I ask that कि ये bean के साथ क्या espresso machine काम करेगा? Because sometimes the delicacy that the delicateness of the bean will go away the moment you use an espresso. So even though it is a 1,000 rupee 250 grams ka bean, it makes no sense if you put it in an espresso machine, right? So that's what it is essentially.
Dhimant, you work a lot from cafes. Like oftentimes 2 or 3 times I've bumped into you because I was doing meeting somewhere, and you typically find Dhimant like in his casual trousers with his legs folded like we sit at home on the chair, on his Mac, on his headphones, and he's wired in and he's doing stuff. So what are your top 3 cafe places in Bangalore that you like working from, and why?
Sure. I think one, I think I like working out from a cafe called Sar House in Koramangala, which is right next to where we are sitting right now.
Yeah.
Brilliant coffee, affordable coffee.
Yeah.
Right. And good bakes along with it. So that's my number 1 place. So it's closed on Monday. So I end up going there once a week. Right. And obviously the people are very warm. So I enjoy that. The second place which I love working out of is a place called Toffee and Talk in Jayanagar. I think we went there once. I took you guys there. Brilliant place. Again, I see a theme, like wherever the coffee is a little more affordable, I feel more comfortable sitting there because, you don't want to be one of those guys who's ordering one coffee and sitting throughout the day. Like, I'm not that guy. I mean, I used to be that guy when I was in early part of my career, but I'm not that guy anymore. So, hence it's important, right? So, I try to balance that out a little bit. The third one is a place called Drip and Drop Coffee in JP Nagar, Jayanagar, right? So, brilliant food, brilliant coffee. But there, I think I go where I have less calls to attend because it's a slightly noisy place. Obviously, we'll talk about a little bit of these places, the food recos later. But these are the top 3 places where I work from generally.
Yeah, Toffee and Talk was crazy good.
Yeah. How was the?
Three of us went. The shakshuka was fantastic.
How was the akuri pav?
Akuri pav was great. The vada pav was great too.
Yeah.
When you think about it, I think he got the, I don't know what you call it, the red powder chutney that you add.
Garlic powder.
To
Garlic chutney.
but also like the spice level was good. And it was a genuinely nice vada pav.
Was the pav good?
It was
A new revelation for me has been.
It was good. See, it was not the most authentic one, but it was tasty. I think
exactly.
Yeah.
So authenticity is Bombay for us. So you ignore Bangalore, but you manage with what you get.
A new
right?
revelation
But it
for
was-
me has been this that Aadil is a sucker for vada pav. I didn't do this for the longest time.
If you want a recommendation for good vada pav in Bangalore, Jayanagar 9 block, Rajavardhan. Please go there.
There's this person in Indiranagar. It's not a cafe. It's a small like thela on this thing.
12th main?
12th main wala.
12th main.
अरे
Right.
कल ही हम थे उधर.
Huh? हाँ क्या?
No, not that one. Not that one. The one that I was telling
This is
you.
opposite chroma.
Opposite chroma. The one that
Acha,
I've been
okay.
telling you about.
But where did we go yesterday? That
That
was
was
brilliant
Suryavanshi.
too. Suryavanshi, right?
Suryavanshi is okay. That is
यार,
that is the
what did you tell me yesterday? Jhanjanit.
Jhanjanit,
Because वो खाने के
misal
बाद
pav
ना,
and Jhanjanit vada
wait,
pav.
these two are eating आराम से and Ameya is taking chilies और वो खा रहा है आराम से. Without chilies, just the vada pav. I'm
Oh
sweating
my
from
God.
here.
I was searching
it
for
was
more
a really
tari.
good vada pav. The
I was
pav
search-
was great. Like it's a very Bombay-like
Yeah.
pav.
So if you go to this place, bank opposite Chroma on 12th Main, like on 100 feet actually.
Yeah.
You will see it is one of the best vada pavs I've had in Bangalore. The best because the pav is authentic. The vada is fairly like I would say 85% there. And they also have the garlic chutney and spice.
It's the same one I've been telling you to go and
about
you have been
30
ignoring
bucks.
me.
Yeah.
They're saying कि नहीं अब यहाँ
नहीं
नहीं
आप
जाऊँगा.
लेके चलो ना ये क्या जाओ मतलब.
By the way, you
लेके
brought
चलो.
up one very important point. The pav needs to be right.
Exactly.
If
The
you
pav-
want to have good pav in Bangalore, I will give people a recommendation. Cake wala. Their cake pav is just like what you would get in a Bombay.
Interesting. And there was one more small outlet. I'm not sure if they're still making vada pav. This was 1.5 years ago. It's a bank opposite that gully, opposite Lick, like Lavonne, ice cream something.
Yeah, ice cream kitchen.
Ice cream kitchen. Right opposite that gully, there's a small chai wala place there, and they used to serve the best vada pavs. Like if you talk about the 100 feet versus this one,
I'll bring in my dosa vada pav wala standard statement. I don't believe in anybody telling you this is the best vada pav place, this is the best dosa place in Bombay. Never Google these things. The best vada pav and the best dosa is your neighborhood guy. Trust me, it always works that way. Like you'll find hundreds and hundreds of great dosa places in Bangalore. Same as hundreds and hundreds of great vada pav places everywhere, right? So like never Google these things.
Cool.
And the beauty in vada pav, it's a 5% addition, which I think it's so simple. Adding onions in your vada pav just accentuates the taste. Like I don't know how it happens and why no one does it in like say
That's
Suryanshi.
blasphemy for Mumbai guys. But
Yeah, exactly. Like,
No, what are you saying? In
no
Mumbai,
man, like authentic vada pav never has onions.
What are you saying?
But I like onions, so I don't mind
no,
it.
like
But normally it's just simple. There has to be vada pav, there has to be mirchi, there has to be a little form of chutney. The pav bloody be hot. That's all.
so this I've heard. So I'm a Bombay boy, right? So there's this place called Kunj Vihar in Bombay. It's become very very big now. They are kind of when I was growing up, they introduced me to this. So there's this tamarind chutney, your spicy chutney and green chutney, and they have this like a pot where they have only onions, like freshly chopped onions, and you put that and it is
See, I'll again
separate episode.
die hard foodie. लेकिन मैं बोल रहा हूँ, onions go with Sikh paratha,
fair.
not with vada pav.
Try.
Just Sikh.
I'm saying
so if you're
try.
having red meat Sikh,
Okay, I
वहाँ
can
पे
feel the
जाएगा.
tension. Let's move on.
Cool. Let's come to coffee zones in Bangalore, and let's try and understand which are our favorites in specific zones in Bangalore. तो शुरू करते हैं with the slightly premium zone of Bangalore. Indiranagar and Koramangala are like the most important hubs, right? तो Koramangala से start करते हैं. And let's talk about which are your favorite places in Koramangala as cafes and why. Let's talk about the coffee part. Let's talk about the food part. Dhimant will start with.
Yeah, so obvious reasons I'm going to leave out the Blue Turquoise and Starbuckses of the world because that's something that everybody anyways goes into. Like I have my own views on that, but I'm going to leave that out right now. So our house is my favorite place here, right? Not because they serve authentic beans coffee, but the fact that I love being in that cafe, right? So that's like one of my favorite places. Another place which I kind of adore is probably Fast Coffee in the last two outlets. Like I'm been here for the last 2 times, right? So I understand the passion that the guys have for coffee. So love this place. I mean, another place you should definitely try. Like, what other places, guys? Like
So in Indiranagar,
Koramangala.
in Koramangala, of course, Subko hai. I'm not being biased here. I love the Koramangala Subko. Like it is gorgeous, and of course the coffee, the bakes, the chocolates, everything is on point. If it comes across as a bias, I don't visit Koramangala that often. I'm mostly in Indiranagar, maybe like a little bit of JP Nagar. So maybe 4 kilometers away from where we are, there's this place called Nerlu in Indiranagar. Okay, one of my favorite cafes. Like if he was talking about the genuine passion behind brewing. If you visit that cafe, it's aesthetic, really good baristas. They welcome you. They remember you. You have visited. If you have visited often, they remember your recipes. They remember how you like your coffee. So they are amazing at conversations. They make you feel hospitable and warm. And the food is really good. Their hot chocolate is very good. Right. So I used to sit there for like hours, like on a Sunday, Saturday. 3-4 hours you should just drop by like that, and they don't mind you sitting because you just pick one small corner and you'll be ordering through and through. So Nerlu Cafe in Indiranagar for sure.
But like because we're talking about Koramangala, like 4th block mein there is this place called Maverick and Farmer Coffee, jiska original obviously is towards Alsur. But if you don't go to Alsur often, like you can go to them because there some of the coffees are really good. If you happen to be there, try the light roasts. Like in Koramangala 4th block, really good coffee. And again, another team who is super passionate about their coffee. Also, they have great bakes along. So try some of the bakes with their coffee.
So Maverick and Farmer, right? The Vietnamese iced coffee is fantastic.
Love it.
The cool part about it is they serve it in 2 separate pots. So you've got a glass which is like tilted like that, which has coffee and condensed milk, and it's served hot. On the other side, it's a mug full of ice. You first mix this well, then you add the ice, and then you have it cold. It is incredible. The second thing, if you enjoy a good burger, Alsur, Maverick and Farmer is next level.
Incredible.
Like, if you enjoy red meat burgers, it has to be juicy. These guys know how to do their burgers. Like, oftentimes burgers in Bangalore can be overcooked because a lot of the Indian audience likes it overcooked. Lekin yahan pe na, they do it just right. And then if you're a fan of stuff like onion rings, really, really good stuff.
This is
So
all Maverick and Farmer.
This is all Maverick and Farmer.
Interestingly, like, because you're talking a lot about food, right? If you're going there, they have a specific bean type. Like, okay, so I generally go with medium roast the most, but once in a while I try light roast. Light roasts are more delicate, right? There's a good bean called Say Hello to Mellow that they make. And it is such a delicate, nice banana berry flavored. Like, when you make it with cold water or make a cold iced coffee out of it, you'll actually, like, the most basic people will get the taste of banana and berry. Like, I was talking about how it's hard to kind of know what you are tasting. Even a basic guy can taste it. Like, my wife was able to tell me, oh, this tastes very fruity. It's almost like you're transitioning into coffee slowly from a cold drink, right? So the cold brew, you were talking about the flavored cold brews. Like, this is something you should definitely try. Along with some of the items that you said, like a brilliant go with that.
And an interesting thing that they keep doing is they keep having pop-ups. So Maverick and Farmer, since we are going to Alsur now, I'm not visited the Kormangla outlet that much, but I love sitting out of the Alsur.
Oh,
it
a very
is,
good
it
place.
is a vibe. You know, like, you have good coffee, you have amazing food, and you're just sitting there watching something.
Dude, Alsur itself is a vibe, no? Like,
I
sitting
agree.
next to the lake and, like, because you're talking Alsur, Kara by the lake, for example.
Kara by
right?
the lake.
Oh my
so you
God.
go into the coffee, I'll go into the food.
No, go with it.
So they,
So yeah,
so
Kara by the lake, lamb cutlets. Nobody does lamb cutlets in Bangalore like Kara by the lake does. Superb lamb cutlets.
Really?
A lot of the other good stuff as well. But my favorite, Kara by the lake, lamb cutlets. If you enjoy a good risotto, they've got a fantastic risotto also. Now, I know we're talking about cafe, but my Italian food mein ghus gaya. But they do a really, really good one.
Even pesto-based pastas are very good at
Yeah.
Kara by the lake. Like,
Yeah,
very
yeah.
good. Just have a basic coffee there, cappuccinos, Americanos. They don't go too deep into the beans at all. But I was talking about more from a vibe perspective. Like, it's a brilliant vibe, right? So,
And so talking about burgers also, vegetarian, like I'm a vegetarian, right? So really good vegetarian burgers as well. And so Sriram, one of the owners, I was actually not very sure if I should have like anything in terms of burgers over there. And he said, try the paneer burger. And I kid you not, it'll be really
This is
good.
Maverick.
Maverick and Farmers. Fantastic
Yeah.
burgers, yeah. So a person who doesn't eat meat or something,
Yeah.
it's also there. Like vegetarian burgers also make the cut over
So
there.
let's round it up. Kormangla mein I'm hearing at least 3 names. One, Sar House. I think a lot of people haven't heard about it. Would strongly recommend. Second, we said Maverick. But if you can go to the Alsur outlet because it's a vibe. Like, any other places in Kormangla that you guys want to recommend?
You remembered, you said fast, right?
Yeah, fast coffee though I would definitely. And surely the Kaya Toast. Like, if you want to come here and try the Kaya Toast, like,
There's one more place called the Big Loaf or the Loaf or somewhere around here only. Like I don't remember. It's some loaf.
You also talked about Subko in Kormangla.
yeah, Subko,
Yeah.
correct.
Of course.
Oh, matlab, that's the happening place to be.
But like right around Subko area only, there's this place called the Loaf or the Big Loaf. Really good coffees, really good baristas, and their bakes are outstanding. Very, very good bakes. So if you have sweet tooth like us, teeth like us,
Yeah, but coming to Kormangla, let's talk about the 2 old places in Kormangla which are not into the third wave coffee, but good cafes, right? Duart Cafe is one. Like, if you know about Duart Cafe, amazing breakfast. Come on a weekday brunch, have basic coffee with them, amazing food, amazing coffee. And it's like a big bungalow, right? Then there is obviously Hole in the Wall, which is like the old OG Kormangla place. Obviously, these are not third wave places, but amazing food and cafes to be in.
there's also one place called 154 Breakfast Club.
Yes.
Or 150. Oh my God, their coffee is outstanding.
Yes, yes.
Right, and their pancakes really good.
See, but I'll tell you one thing, like one parameter which takes me away from cafes, right? The problem is, in the last few years, I have started looking for underrated gems, not because I want to hunt underrated gems, because I don't want to go to a cafe thinking, mujhe jagah mile ya ki nahi mile. Some of the problems with these places, like for example, if you're going to Hole in the Wall or Duart Cafe or you're going to 154, you have to literally stand in the line. Like, it's always crowded. Right? For me, it's also very important that I should be able to walk into my favorite cafe without worrying कि मुझे बैठने की जगह मिले कि नहीं मिले. Like, so 154 is another brilliant place, but always full. At least weekends, though, it's always full.
Let's come to Indiranagar. What are some of our favorite cafes in Indiranagar and why?
Personally, I love this place called Nerlu. It's like off 100 feet in Indiranagar. One of my favorite cafes. Like it started in this place. It started in Crescent Road. It was really far. Like, it was a long ride to go there. But when they opened in Indiranagar, I was one of the happiest people because great design aesthetics of the cafe. Amazing baristas, hospitable, warm. They know their shit. What they do is they have one home, like a house blend on the espresso, and they kind of keep shifting their beans for pour overs. So you get to try multiple roasters, and that also is like a education for someone who's not into coffee or is just trying to get into coffee. And they have this taster. I think they do like a taste. It's called a flight. I feel it's called a coffee flight. I don't know what they've exactly called. So you have 3 to 4 different coffees brewed in the exact same way. So you get to choose what you might actually like. So if you're just starting off, beautiful space, and the baristas remember who you are. Not in the sense of hey or Vivek or whatever, but what do you like? How often do you come there? He'll definitely order a croissant with that. So if you're not ordering that, he'll actually ask you what's why don't you want to order that. Their recommendations are spot on. If you ask them what would you prefer to drink, they'll not try to sell you something, but they'll actually give you something that based on your previous. So it's like machine learning but in the brain, right? So they give you exact recommendations, and I think 9 out of 10 times it's always been right for me. So Nerlu
So
Cafe.
yeah, so if you're coming to Indiranagar for trying coffee, like because you said, okay, let me go to Indiranagar, it has a lot of cafes, and I want to try like few in a day, or I want to try different coffees in different days. Nerlu is definitely one of them. One special thing about Nerlu, which outside what he spoke, is they use northeast beans, I think, which is not so well known. Like for example, in most of the places in Bangalore, you will hit Chikmagalur or Ratnagiri or these beans, right? So beans from these regions, they use northeast region beans, right? Which is amazing. My recommendation outside Nerlu, one would be one of my favorite places, Humblebean Coffee. And like most of the time when somebody asks me kahan milna hai, like it's always Humblebean, right? So I love the place. Humblebean is actually again like a institution of coffee and bakes. Like they run their own school of bakery, etc. And on the ground floor they run a brilliant cafe. So you will find the most complex brews there, right? From your pour overs to your basic Americanos to your even your complex cold brews. You spoke about cold brews. You spoke about orange cold brew, like fantastic orange cold brew. And not only from a taste, the look of the coffee, like you will exactly get those orange and coffee ka section, the way they do it, right? So that's one of the favorite coffee places as well. Both these places, by the way, you can even buy the beans there if you have like coffee enthusiasm at home. One of the things that I would definitely urge you to try at Humblebean would be some of their sweet stuff, like especially people who have a sweet teeth and tooth. Just too good. Like they're super indulgent, but really good. Right? So
Even the granola bowls are very
yeah,
good.
granola balls are
Very, very good. And one more interesting about Humblebean, which you will not notice in the thing unless you pay attention, because you're talking about audiophile and acoustics. They have brilliant acoustics. So there's music playing in the background, but when you even if you're in a group of people or you have a group sitting even in the back, you can hear every single thing about a conversation you're having face to face. So you will know that the music is there, but it's somewhere in the background, but it's there but not there. So it's like background noise, but you can hear every single thing when you're talking to each other, and like it's great acoustics as well.
But
right?
I think me and Ameya met. I think our first podcast meeting happened there, if I remember right. One of the meetings happened in Humblebean, and most of the time I end up recommending only the cold brew, orange cold brew. I think that's, by the way, the orange cold brew you also spoke about. My issue with orange cold brew is that most of the people don't use fresh juice, including one of people's favorite coffee brands. Like they use ready coffee juice, orange juice. Like, hate that.
What about Lavonne? Where do you guys stand on Lavonne?
I think I enter Lavonne for the food, not for the coffee. But the coffee is fantastic. Also, another a place where they make coffee for you with the heart, right? I love that idea. I don't know whether they use the best beans, but they genuinely want you to enjoy your coffee. So they'll recommend you what goes good with coffee. Like the bakes are amazing, man.
Yeah.
Like I love Lavonne.
Like if
What a
anybody
Lavonne.
knows how to do good Benedict, that is Lavonne.
Really?
Like they've got a fantastic Benedict. And also, like you said, the bakes, right? The
If you have-
croissants and
Yeah.
man, the desserts, the patisserie, so good. So when you go to Lavonne, right? Oh man, You eat there and then you want to skip the next couple of meals. क्योंकि इतना अच्छा है.
If you happen to have a kid and go to Lavonne, try the sweet pancakes that they make. It's insane on a Sunday morning. Like if you're not a health conscious guy, have that. I mean, so much of indulgence in that. Amazing pancakes.
Their almond prashant is so good. It is like, so that's indulgence. So I live around
There's
that.
there's this Konsu. What do we think about Konsu?
Like my personal view, overrated. Like I'll leave it.
Why overrated, man? I love the dessert.
I didn't
Again,
like-
I don't know about the coffee.
Yeah, the coffee is not
But the desserts are outstanding. Like they have this lovely hazelnut profiterole. They have the hazelnut. What do you call those? It has this cream inside. What are those things called? Eclairs. They have these fantastic chocolate eclairs.
Their
that
tiramisus
so,
are also
so
very good. Their tiramisus are also very good.
Yeah.
Very.
I think the reason, I'll tell you my reason of
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
why. And again, it is not nothing against conchu as well.
Yeah.
I feel that there is a very big conundrum in the food world as well, right? So
Yeah.
what happens is when you have your first outlet,
Yeah.
everything is perfect,
Yeah.
right? You make everything fresh with your heart, and as you expand, as you scale, like you go industrial, right? You try to make some part of it ready from a kitchen, and I handle cloud kitchen
Precisely
for,
what happened with Theobroma, right?
yeah.
If
So
you think about it. Yeah.
it's, you have to be extremely mindful as a restaurant owner that what is the balance between expansion and not losing your mojo.
Yeah.
And what turns me off about a lot of these places is if they start making it too industrial, it shows on the plate.
Yeah.
So like, because I've handled cloud kitchen brands for the longest period of time, the irony is that for me that question always existed: am I making my food too industrial? Right? So that's some of the reasons why for me chains are, I get turned off beyond a point
Right.
with chains.
What about Paper and Pie?
Oh, lovely place. I would say #1 rated to sit and work. I don't go there because it's a little too expensive to work every day. But otherwise, it's a brilliant place to work. It's the right vibe, great desserts, great coffee. Like, I love the place.
One more, I don't know if would everyone heard this. It's a small cafe in the, it's near CMH Road in Indiranagar only. It's called German Pretzel House.
Oh,
It is
superb.
very good. Like the coffee is outstanding. Food really, really good. But it's not popular. Their
It rides
pretzels.
next to Natraj Chole
Yes,
Bhature.
right opposite that. Yes.
Our audience knows Natraj Chole Bhature.
Bank- bank
of
of-
Chole Bhature.
Bank opposite that, really good coffees. You should try their classic pretzels. Very, very good.
No, but let's talk about the vibe. So this place, the vibe is go with a group of friends. There are games there. You can talk, play, Jenga. That's the vibe of the place.
Which one? Paper and Pie.
No, the German one.
German is a simple cafe. You
Yeah.
can go alone also. You can mind your own business. You always get a place to sit there. You can go with friends. It's not a date kind of a place, but
Yeah, it's not a date kind of
yeah.
place. Exactly. That's what I wanted
It's
to do.
a nice be my time kind of a space. Or maybe if you want to go with a friend or two, really good place. Good coffee, good food, really good bakes. One of the best breads that I have tried in Bangalore. Very good breads. Their sourdoughs.
Another sucker for
But
breads.
Speaking about breads, what about Lazy Suzy?
I have just gone there once, so I'm not too.
Yeah, if there is a place that does hot chocolate really well, has to be Lazy Suzy. Like really, really top class hot chocolate, especially if you like ganache like hot chocolates. Right? Really, really good, I would say. And again, another place that knows how to do burgers. Like really good burgers and good desserts, but outstanding hot chocolate.
Is it compare it with Smoor?
So again, what kind of a hot chocolate person are you, right?
I like a medium texture, which is not too flowy, not too thick. So Smoor is extremely thick.
So, Smoon, you can tell them.
Okay.
So if you go to Smoon, you can tell them, yaar, don't add milk to it. Then they will give you this ganache wala consistency, which is my favorite. I like it thick.
Got it.
But then in this place, Lazy Suzy, also they do it slightly thick. So depends.
Got
If you want them to dilute it, they can. But I also like, I'm not like the milk chocolate guy. I'm more like give me like a 50-55% dark. I can go up to there. 75-80%, then it kind of turns me off. I can't have it.
Like hot chocolate reminds me, there used to be this place, I don't know if it was in Kormangala or I forgot where it was. It's called Happy Belly Bakes.
Oh, Happy Belly. is
Let's not
legendary.
get started. Let's not get started.
Happy Belly, man.
Is it still there?
So now they're only a cloud kitchen.
That's
Okay,
what, yeah.
here's the thing. You enjoy a good chocolate cake. Happy Belly is the only one who does this. It's called a hot chocolate cake. It's a cake which has marshmallows on top. The trick to eating it is you microwave for 15 seconds, and these are pockets of these hot chocolate clusters that melt. And then you indulge. Oh man, it is unbelievably good. And
Vivek is triggering all the right nerves.
then they make this thing called millionaire shortbread. It has dark chocolate, it has caramel, and it's got milk chocolate,
Wow.
and then these halka sa white chocolate ka layer on top of it. You bite into it, and I'm like, "Arey yaar, this is so bloody good." Let's talk a little bit about underrated gems in Indiranagar.
The one which you are trying to gatekeep. Those ones.
Yeah, let's talk about the ones that we feel the world should know about.
So let's do one thing. Let's do rapid fire. I'll say one, you say one. If you guys have, just jump in.
Yeah.
Okay. One is King Coffee. Recommendation, without hurting any feelings of anybody, is the Tokyo Matcha. It's also it's Tokyo Story, and it's called Dirty Matcha. So it's a mix of espresso and matcha. Love it. You have to try it if you are in Indiranagar. It's a small benchy place. There is no fancy shop, no AC. आप बैठो bench पे. It's like sitting in a garden. Order your coffee. पियो coffee आराम से. Pay करो. Leave. Have to try it. It's on Swiggy, but don't order it. Go there, have it.
Okay.
For me, German pretzel house. Like you should try their Americano because you can try their flat white, but I like my coffee black. Their Americano and pretzels, the classic pretzels, and also get the butter alongside with that. Outstanding. You'll thank me later.
Next one is Tribal Brew. It's a cart. It is opposite Truffle on the 100 feet road. 100 rupees coffee. Superb. And they use more traditional Indian beans. They don't go for the fancy beans, but deliver a perfect latte.
What's the most overhyped cafe in Indiranagar? let's add some masala and tadka also. Like why talk only about the good stuff?
So okay, I'll be a little diplomatic.
Yeah.
So when I see this offer of Starbucks running 50% off all the time, one reason why I feel it's overrated, and again I'm going to give you the reason, right? I have no issue with the brand as a whole, right? I mean, they do amazing stuff for whatever they do, but one critical element, Aadil, of any good coffee is when the coffee is roasted and when you are grinding it. I think most of the times I find that the coffee which is ground there is a month old, 2 months old. Like the beans that people buy from there are 2 months old. Like Vivek will tell you, because he sold coffee and coffee machines for the longest time, how important it is to have freshly roasted beans on your kitchen top. So for me, that's one of the obvious issues.
अच्छा तो एक overrated हो गया, और भी तो होंगे overrated.
I think बाकी कुछ सब अच्छा ही है, सब अच्छा है.
So आप ना you're protecting your career right now. इसको तो
सब अच्छा ही है.
Okay, let me tell you one thing. Araku Cafe, for example, I feel is overrated for the price it offers, right? I don't think it's a very premium place to be, but it doesn't deliver the best coffee. The beans that they use are probably not the best, because I've been using Araku beans for some time now, and when I use those beans, I realized that the crema is not great. I mean, there is a great sustainability story that they have with it, but I feel it's more marketing than soul. Like that's what I would say.
Ameya, what about, is there an overrated cafe, not just in Nagar, anywhere in Bangalore, that you think is overhyped?
Sure. Yeah, I don't frequent Indiranagar much. Let me see. Recently, Jayanagar, one place I'll call out is Isobel, I don't know how you say. Nice cafe, nice modern cafe. Jayanagar.
So underrated is it?
I don't know how well known it is, but sure. Yeah, I mean, I like it.
Yeah.
There's also a great filter coffee scene all across Jayanagar. I think Namma filter coffee is really nice. It's a little more like, coffee only place, not Darshini this thing, but yeah.
Overrated?
I wouldn't.
Wouldn't. Acha, ठीक है, चलो.
What is your pick? What is your pick?
Like, I don't like coffee. So
आप ये बताओ coffee place पे which is the best
Café.
food that you
Café.
experience in Indiranagar?
Indiranagar, best coffee food.
Cafe.
Cafe food. Lavonne number 1 for me. Number 2 will be Lazy Suzy. Number 3 will be Konsu. For food, I really like. And this is indulgent food. Matlab full on guilt trip. Just go and enjoy your carbs and enjoy your fats.
If you are somebody who likes going to a cafe and reading a book, I do a lot. When my wife is out of town or I'm alone at home, what do you call #solo? I love doing this. I love finishing a book on a Saturday in a cafe shop, right? And Cafe Plume is one of the good places in Indiranagar. Very nice. You'll miss it for sure. It's on the double road where just after the old subway used to be.
It is right after Nirlu. Nirula.
Yeah,
Nerlu. It's right after Nerlu. Bank opposite IDC.
Got it.
Super food.
Small, very small,
Small
but
cafe.
their cookies are also fantastic.
Cheesecake, cookies. If you're a sucker for cheesecake, definitely try the cheesecake. The coffees are good. Nobody will disturb you. Like that's very important when you're reading a book. Nobody should call me like मैं पढ़ूंगा
So
book बैठ के.
cheesecake जब आप बोल रहे हो. So this is not a coffee place or a in-person place. This place is on your Zomato and Swiggy. It's called Mason Do Brownie. They have a Black Forest cheesecake. My God, I've never had anything quite like it. While they call it Black Forest, it's got elements of chocolate, it's got cherry, and it's this amazing amalgamation of chocolate, cherry, and cheese. It blows your mind. It's the delivery only, Mason Do Brownie. And if you like Basque cheesecakes, like if you enjoy a good caramel Basque cheesecake, these guys do the best Basque cheesecakes in Bangalore. Apply the 100 rupee coupon and you won't regret it.
I would beg to differ on the cheesecake of the best cheesecake.
Batao.
Have you tried Subko's cheesecake?
No, I have no.
It is again not a shameless plug, but it is phenomenal. I love like dessert cravings,
Yeah.
right? So there is Subko's is I think one of the top cheesecake
Okay.
that they make. Second is this place called Maki's Patisserie. It's in
Marquis
Indiranagar.
I've had. It's good. Yeah, Marquis is good.
It is. I mean, I love it.
Dude, but I have a question. When you say Maki, I want to ask a very important question. I'm seeing this new trend. I don't know if it's also true in Bombay and Delhi, but Bangalore में बहुत हो रहा है. There are these weird time places that I have to remember कि कब वो cafe चालू है कि नहीं. Like Maki, for example, is closed on Mondays and Tuesdays. What is with this, man? Like, how do I know आप कब चालू हो, कब बंद हो? Don't expect me to remember all this.
It is
What's
also.
what's with this? What is this?
It's a great marketing thing, no? I would like to believe that they're doing it because operationally it makes sense.
Yeah.
If you see they're sold out by 3 p.m., 4 p.m. on a Wednesday, and if you go and have a cheesecake, it's sold out.
It just seems deliberate, no?
Let's give them the benefit of doubt. Yeah, like,
No, but
See, again, this is his personality where he's protecting his career and interest. मैं किसी के बारे में.
but I should.
if you find him without a job after some time, you know what to
Sir,
blame.
आप Mason Do Brownie try करो.
I will, I
Cheesecake.
shall.
Try their Basque cheesecake caramel, or you try the Black Forest in particular. I'm telling you, is stuff of legends. Like nobody
Today,
does
I'll leave it in the
so
comment
well.
section, guys.
Cool. अभी इंदिरानगर से आगे बढ़ते हैं. Okay, let's come to potentially South Bangalore. When I say South Bangalore, let's talk about Jayanagar. Let's talk about JP Nagar. Let's talk about Baswangudi. I think here, what are like our top recommendations for cafes?
So number one recommendation is drip and drop coffee, and I'll tell you why. Set of people extremely passionate about their coffee, about their food. Let me talk about one dish that you should definitely go and try there. It's the thecha bagel. You know what thecha is, right?
Yeah.
Thecha is essentially a Marathi thing made up of green mirchi and green chili, and you amalgamate it with other food, right? So they have an open bagel which has thecha on top, and Aadil, you will sweat from all sides if you have that bagel. Amazing. So definitely go and try the gold brews and try the thecha bagel. The second place we spoke about Toffee and Talk. Amazing place. By the way, thanks to Ishwar. And I'll tell you why. Because I generally do these things where we do this cafe crawl, right? So I did this few months back when I explored Jayanagar cafes, and he sent me a list, and I also explored something outside that list. But amazing list that he had sent me, right? So shout out to Ishwar for sharing that list with me. Toffee and Talk. We spoke about the Vada Pav. We spoke about Akuri Pav. I have been editing a lot of our episodes sitting out of that cafe. It's amazing. Amazing. Just love the food there, love the coffee there. And again, one common theme I'm again seeing in recommending any coffees is the price point. I genuinely feel that the sweet spot of a good coffee is not 300-350 rupees. Like, so I have a very strong point of view on people trying to make their premium coffee look premium just by putting it as a 350 price point. So two examples I can give you. One is Toffee and Talk. The second is Chelvi's in Indiranagar, which we didn't speak about. It's a new cafe. This 3-floor cafe. they serve good food and great coffee, and they don't charge a bomb. Right. So for me, I think that's a very important point. Third one, I would say in South Bangalore is, and a lot of favorite South Bangalore boys know it, the Benki. Like Benki is an institution. You can sit there, you can buy coffee equipment, you can drink coffee, you can sample their beans, you can talk to a set of 5 passionate people, and they have very limited food items on the menu, but all of them are bangers. So it's not essentially a place where you would go every day and sit in the AC and connect to Wi-Fi and work. That's not your place. But Benki, if you're a passionate coffee guy and love coffee in general, just go there and sit down. They also make great matcha. So if you like matcha, you can also sit there and have some nice matcha. But in general, Benki also sells a lot of brewing tools, right? So another recommendation. You want to add any other stuff from South Bangalore?
So from Drip and Drop, their Korean buns are also very good. Outstanding Korean buns. Bagels are also really good. And I think the joy that his name is Big Baba Foodie is the guy, Gurudeep is his name. The joy and the passion with which he runs that place is, I mean, if you're a newbie, I think that passion will take you through the journey of, let me at least hear him out, right? He's a soft, silent guy, calm, demeanor, and he'll also show you how he makes. So there's a nice small coffee bar over there. So I enjoy sitting out of Drip, and whenever I go, I don't travel to JP Nagar and Jayanagar that often, but when I do, I definitely try to go there. Another place that I like is Katte Culture. It's a beautiful looking space. I mean, I look at cafes in the 3 things, like how good the coffee is first, how good the ambience is, and of course how good the food is, because I don't go there just to have coffee. I can have good coffee at home also, right? So I would rather look at all these 3 parameters to see if I would want to go there again, and Katte Culture definitely one of the spaces to kind of go. I'm not a flavor kind of person, so they're Americanos, Espressos, pour-overs, really, really good.
Katte culture, what stands out to me is it's like entering somebody's bungalow.
Yes.
When you go into that house, it feels like somebody's invited you to their house. You go and then there is a reception, and then you order, and they will you sit. Sitting is also very chilled out. Like it's a set of stones where you sit on, and there's an outside space, there's an inside space. This is the kind of space that you will typically find in a Chikmagalur ka homestay. That kind of a vibe. So if you want that vibe where the weather is good, or you and your partner are thinking ki yaar acha weather hai, so let's sit in a nice place, Katte Culture is also a great place.
Good place for a date. Just FYI.
The 3 men you're talking to here are all married.
So that's why I pointed there.
I don't know about the other 2, but I am pretty much grounded at home. So the other 2 can be adventurous. Yeah.
And I'll tell you the best part of exploring Jayanagar cafes. You can always go to Taza Tendi and have your idli as well. Like that satisfies.
There's a good dosa as well.
Yeah, I mean, by the way, that they shut down dosa for a period of time, right? Because the demand was so much that they couldn't cater to it. They had to shut it down.
Yeah, if I'm in the area, I'm definitely going there for a dosa.
So, but if you're talking of Jayanagar specifically, one more thing is that if you are someone who makes coffee at home, the place I get my grounds from has always been for a number of years. There is the place in 4th block called Suma Coffee. They grind it fresh in front of you, and they will give it to you.
This is for your filter coffee.
I use it for filter coffee, but then he will mix your chicory and coffee grounds, and he's got control with respect to how finely to grind it and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, it's good, generally good quality, and I've stuck by them. There's a certain taste of nostalgia. I've been using them for, as I said, 20 plus years. Yeah.
So I was saying that one thing that will stand out for you is that if you are from Bangalore or outside Bangalore and coming to explore coffee, Jayanagar has slightly the price point of coffee is slightly 50-75 rupees lower than Indiranagar across the board. You will experience that when you see that, right? So if you are on a tighter budget and want to explore coffee, probably Jayanagar is a better place than Indiranagar.
But rentals are also high, right? Over there. I mean, rentals are high in Indiranagar.
Yeah, correct. So that shows in the coffee pricing.
So,
One last thing which I'm a place for us to visit. I mean, I'm going there today. I've heard good things about the space only. It's called Nenupu or Nenapu.
Nenapu is awesome.
I want to go there today. Comments again. I'll put it in the comment section below.
बताओ कहाँ है?
JP Nagar, Jayanagar. Somewhere around Benki and these areas only. I have heard only good things about this place, and their bakes are outstanding. Is what I.
So last one, I think, where we'll probably shoot one of our next podcasts is a place called Block 2 Café. It's in Block 2, right near your Bangalore Café. It's an open seating place. It's like again like tribal brew. So I want to end every section with that kind of a place, right? Where you just can you get your coffee. Very interestingly, I wanted to add something here, and this is something I realized over a period of time. India doesn't have a culture where you can walk in, take your coffee and go. People want to say कि अगर मैंने 400 हाँ मुझे 300 रुपया बैठना है तो मैं पीऊंगा वसूल करूंगा मैं 200 रुपया क्यों दूँ एक कॉफी कैरी आउट करने के लिए but there are some amazing carts that are doing this job and I feel that brings the price of the coffee down which helps you kind of experience good coffee at a budget. So one is Tribal Brew in Indiranagar, second is Block 2 Café, and third is the chain that they're building called AB Coffee, right? So interestingly in Indiranagar, if you want a decently good coffee, AB Coffee is your place. Not many people know. It's only a takeaway place right next to Nerlu. If you don't want to spend 350 rupees for your coffee, this is where you go. You order it on the app, 97 rupees Americano. Pick it up, take it in your car. So the day when I have to go to office urgently and I miss my morning ritual, I pick my coffee from there. So I think this entire India not having that pick up coffee culture is also driving the price of the coffee up. Right, so
But I'll maybe contradict you on this. I'm not been to up coffee, so I won't comment on that. But India's prices of coffee has gone so up. Like when it's gone, it's so high now that I actually judge a lot of the cafes when they charge it lower. Because if I think visit older beans that they're selling to us, right? Because if it is so difficult if your procurement is that rate and if you're selling coffee at that, I mean you get 20 grams of coffee in one espresso shot, 18 to 20 grams. If you're charging that low, I mean, I don't know how it makes economic sense.
no, but see again clarifying myself, right? The combination of serving good coffee at the right price point is what I meant, right? I'm not talking about those places who are probably cutting down on the coffee cost. Like the ability to serve good coffee at a price point because you're cutting the cost from the rentals and from those fancy elements which a good coffee drinker does not want. Like that's my point. I think I don't want to sit in a big cafe who's serving coffee at 100 rupees like you said because then I know the beans are probably not great, right? So that's how I would look at it.
Cool. इसको wrap करते हैं. Let's come to Central Bangalore now.
What is Central Bangalore? नहीं पता है.
Downtown Bangalore. It's more about like MG Road, Lavonne
Starting
Road,
from probably
St.
Alsur
Mark's
and
Road,
yeah.
Vittal Malya Road,
Got it.
all of that. So Central Business District. So let's come to Central Bangalore now. I'm going to start this section because I have to call out a place which is one of my favorite places. I'm very happy that I was the first guy to place their first ever online order.
I know तुम किसकी बात करने
हाँ,
वाले हो.
तो ये है Amin Tiri. Amin Tiri has by far the best cakes in Bangalore. The best patisserie in Bangalore. Their croissants are amazing, but if it's your birthday, it's somebody's birthday, they are expensive. Let me just put it that way. But the quality is next level. Like my kids really like the Kinder Joy cake. So they make a cake out of the Kinder Joy chocolate. It is like supremely good. Again, they do really good breakfasts. So if you enjoy a good breakfast, if you're close to MG Road, Church Street, you can go there and have a great breakfast. Suraj has just opened up a brand new outlet now in HSR as well, Amin Tiri, and by far one of the best. I don't know about the coffee, so you guys should take over that conversation. But the food and dessert is top notch.
I love their tres leches.
Tres leches,
For sure.
the lychee raspberry cake. Out of the world. I mean, if I generally don't eat cakes on my birthday, but if somebody was to give me a cake on a birthday, that would be the cake.
अरे अभी हो गया यार, हमें भेज देते, बता देना चाहिए था.
The lychee
Last
raspberry
Sunday
cake.
was your birthday, yeah.
The lychee raspberry cake. The pastas are to die for. The Greek spaghetti, amazing. Not the traditional Italian spaghetti. Doesn't have too much sauce. Spicy, great spaghetti. There is one more pasta that they do, which is the pepper sauce pasta.
Yeah.
Amazing stuff. I love Amin Tiri.
We wouldn't be doing justice if we don't mention the cake loaves.
Oh yeah.
So they have amazing cake loaves where one of them is what they call the pistachio blondie. The pistachio blondie is this amazing cake which has oodles of pistachio, cream, pistas and white chocolate. And copious amounts of white chocolate in that. And then there is my favorite, which is the cookie dough loaf. This is, imagine the cookie dough.
Yes.
But if cookie dough was nice and warm and gooey, but it was baked in the form of a cake with these nice melting chocolate bits surrounding every now and
Can
then
I say
in
something?
squares.
you know it's Aadil's favorite place when there are probably no offers running on any of the websites. It doesn't sell on any of the aggregators. You still end up dying to go there. You go there, and I'm sure our double dip guy will also go there once he goes there because there are absolutely no discounts that I seek when I go there.
So no Easy Diner, no Swiggy Dine Out, no Zomato. They are not even available on delivery platforms like online Zomato, Swiggy, what have you. Simple rule है, either phone करके order करो या तो फिर उधर जाओ और खाओ and pay full price and there's no discount whatsoever.
They accept
Suraj will be a
Zomato
very
Pay.
good
They
friend.
started accepting Zomato Pay, by the way. Just FYI.
Oh, they did? अरे वाह
17% back.
16.5%. So for all of you who've got Smart Buy, for all of you who've got iShop, for all of you who have access to even Amazon Pay vouchers, I think you figured out a way to get 16.5% back on your card spends. Cool. So we'll round up Amintiri.
100 meters from Amintri,
Yeah,
there's a place called Coffee Brewery,
coffee brewery.
right opposite Milano.
Acha.
And they have the most insane drink that I've tried. I couldn't finish it because it was too sweet for me. It's called tiramisu latte.
Tiramisu latte.
And they put that biscuit on the top
Huh.
like a straw.
Huh.
It's insane. It's insane. Like if anybody likes tiramisu, try that tiramisu
So
latte.
speaking about dessert coffees, where do you get the best affogato in Bangalore?
Milano, undoubtedly.
So do they put the vanilla gelato in or is it vanilla
Gelato.
ice cream in?
Gelato.
Gelato. Yeah, okay. And
The
so
same.
Milano, agree, disagree?
I wouldn't know. I'm not an ice cream.
क्या
fan.
बात कर
I'm
रहे
not
हो
an ice
यार?
cream
You're
fan.
the dessert guy.
No, but
I'm
I'm
not
going
an
to,
ice cream guy.
But I'm going to tell you the problem with mentality like him or me, right?
Yeah.
So I love coffee so much that I go to a coffee place और इसमें selling a good affogato also. My
Yeah.
problem is मैं पहले pour over try करूँ क्या? मैं कहले वो तो and you have limited calories that you can spend at a place, right? So मेरे साथ भी यही problem होता है. I want to try the affogato, right? And especially after you have had Vivoli in the world once in Italy and Florence, and then you are just spoiled for choice in life. मतलब if you don't know what affogato is, you have to try it in Vivoli. Like that's the ultimate place to have affogato in the whole world, I would say. But in Bangalore, my recommendation would be Milano. A very simple, plain gelato with coffee just works perfectly. Even the coffee brewery does a good
Good
job.
affogato.
Good affogato.
Alright,
In
cool.
fact, just near Amintri,
Yeah.
there's this place called Muro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
they do a great breakfast.
They do
Yeah.
great
The
breakfast. They have
Asian
good-
breakfast.
They
Yeah.
also have a great coffee menu.
Acha.
It's outside, just
Okay.
when you enter. It's really, really good. And their beverages, I mean, they have some offbeat beverages for coffee, which is really nice. Like,
They have, so okay, I really like Muro. I like going there for dinner. I haven't gotten a chance to go for breakfast normally because मैं ज़्यादा करता नहीं हूँ breakfast. So they have, so I'm a teetotaler, but all my friends love having a good spirit. Lekin I am like the odd one out. So oftentimes, and I don't like mocktails because they're too sweet. They have a 0 ABV menu and they have like 7-8 different mocktails and all of them are outstanding. उसमें एक coffee वाला है, which is like really, really good. So again, Muro.
Yeah, the new thing which is catching hold, because he mentioned it, is the espresso martini. It's catching up like anything. Like I've seen some fancy stuff. यार मतलब
So espresso martini is, again, just describe it. It's like it has vodka with it, right?
yeah, I mean you have a traditional martini, but it has
Yeah.
an espresso mixed along with it.
So it's just for the flavor.
It's
so
for
it's your kick.
it's a
It
kick.
does.
Yeah,
Acha,
it does.
okay.
Coffee gives me a kick, so I'm just, and I'm also, I'm not a teetotaler. I've quit alcohol, so coffee is my.
I know we are
Sorry,
talking about
shut up.
Bangalore, but
क्यों इतनी शराफत? क्या हो गया?
मम्मी देखेगी तो
तो पॉडकास्ट भेजना है हमें, नहीं भेजना है.
अभी तो बेच सकते हैं.
Yeah, sorry, Ameya, you were saying.
yeah, I know we are talking about Bangalore, but the espresso martini that you get in the original Starbucks roastery in Seattle is next level. I think if anyone ever needs to go to that part of the world, I think that is one thing one must try out. It's expensive, it's very expensive, but it's very tasty.
Okay, got it. What other coffee
Maverick
places?
we covered already.
Maverick we covered.
we covered.
Maverick is brilliant, no brainer.
I mean, let's round up the section by saying adding Maverick as well, because if you are in central Bangalore, definitely.
Yeah. Oh
give it
yeah,
a
for
shot.
sure. Like if you want to go play a good game of football, if your kids like playing football and you like the views of sports, then this place is fantastic. Like
So again, let's round up the central Bangalore also with a one underrated gem. Like
Yeah.
not really underrated, but somebody place which like a coffee, what is the word?
Aficionado.
Aficionado would not go to.
Yeah.
But I would suggest like the Mateo, for example, right?
Okay.
Now it calls itself a coffee shop. But it's
Matthews
not
Church Street, right?
Yeah, it's a street. It's not a third wave coffee place.
Yeah.
Right? But like for example, if you order the croissant there, it's a desi croissant. It's like your hard bread, not the delicate pastry.
It's like a brune croissant.
Brune croissant.
It's legit Prashant.
It's Prashant, it's not croissant. Exactly.
It's actually a Prashant.
Very well put actually. Prashant versus croissant. Like it belongs to the Sterling Group, and they've been running this forever. They've kept the price point low. They do egg stuff. They do in breakfast. They do normal harsh bean coffee. Let's call it harsh bean coffee for lack of words, right? Look, gotta love the place, man. Like if you want to spend 500 rupees with a group of friends, 3 people, you can just do with coffee. Like I love the place. Like the Church Street one is brilliant. And
But
even they got
talking
some nice
of-
sandwiches and all that.
Talking of Mateo and Central Bangalore, and to close out, one cannot not talk about the OG. The first cafe coffee day outlet on Brigade Road. I remember, I think 2000, and that is the first time I was like, frappe, and I was mind blown. And then back in the day, there was nothing of this sort.
Yeah,
And,
I would say the only reason why probably Bangalore became the coffee capital of the world outside filter coffee was the cafe day culture, right? So the first probably wave of branded coffee outlets. And it was actually very sad to see them go out the way they did, right? I mean, the founder story and all of that. By the way, one is Church Street. The other was right bang on MG Road. There was a cafe day outlet on the MG
Oh yeah,
Road. as
Barton
well.
Center ke paas.
Barton Center.
But that
Exactly.
happened after the acquisition.
Yeah,
It used to be a barista before, and
Yes. Acha, so I'm going on a slightly different tangent here. But because we spoke about desserts, there's a very nice place called Clava. And Clava at Rex.
Rex, no? Yeah.
Man, if you enjoy a good baklava, calorie alert, it's very sugary. If you enjoy a good baklava, if you enjoy a good kunafa, if you enjoy a good, let's say, Turkish related chocolate desserts, this is the place to go. They also have a chocolate baklava, which is like very, very nice. And then there's another one called Ferrera, which is not there, but it's in Koramangala. Ferrera serves a very interesting thing. He'll take a croissant and then he'll put in, it's a hot croissant, and he'll put in this scoop of ice cream in it, and he'll fold it and give it to you. Man, it's
Dude,
insane.
you've not seen the videos?
Videos,
no,
yeah, I've
lately,
seen it only
in which
videos.
they put a Magnum ice cream inside a
हाँ,
croissant.
we've seen that.
Insane.
Correct. अच्छा वो Bangalore में भी आ गया by the way.
हाँ, I
There's a
heard.
place in Jayanagar that is serving this. I haven't gone there.
one? Which
I don't remember, but I've seen quite a few reels about this. But Ferrera I have been, and Ferrera does this, and it's pretty good. You often think about, yeah, why will I mix a croissant with an ice cream? ये तो blasphemy है, ये तो crime है. But one bite and like, और एक दे दे. It's so good, you know. All right, so with that, let's round up.
I have one more for Central
Yeah.
Bangalore. One, this is place. So there are two actually.
Yeah.
This is place called Brown Table in Seshadripuram. What? Sadashiv Nagar. Sadashiv
Okay,
Nagar.
yeah.
Really good place.
Okay.
I mean, coffee, of course, like really good. They also have really good teas.
Acha.
I'm not a tea person, but I thoroughly enjoyed their like green teas, and they have these OG single origin teas kind of a thing. Very good. And their food menu is very good. The place is again a date vibe. Open air, beautiful looking space. A space when you want to just hang out and do nothing.
Yeah.
Beautiful, like a perfect spot for there. Sadashiv Nagar, Brown Table.
Talking about teas, do you want to talk about matcha?
Let's talk about it. Why not? Why not? आप करो मचा.
तू मचाओ.
I am the OG cutting chai types. तो हमारे Fraser Town में there is a very very small dingy kind of place which is called Savera Cafe. For me, the best chai is there. The price of the chai is 12 rupees. He'll give it to you in a itna chotu sa glass. It has a little bit of sugar overload, I must confess. But that chai just hits the spot. It's unbelievable. But yeah, let's talk about matcha.
No, I matcha has very contradicting opinions. Like, you want to say something? Like,
I love matcha, guys.
But yeah, so if what are the top 3 matcha spots in Bangalore? Let's talk about that, Dhimant.
Yeah, I personally like matcha. I think the problem with matcha that has happened in the last few years is that there's a cultural shift of coolness that I've seen, right? So from a coffee latte coffee or cafe latte becoming cool, it's matcha latte which is becoming cool. So what is happening is a lot of people who want to feel cool are ordering matcha and they realize it tastes like shit. right? So matcha is genuinely a drink which I think you need to develop a taste for, unlike coffee, right? It's very earthy, it's very grassy. So you'll see these influencers talking about कि जो भी cool दिखने के लिए matcha पी रहे हैं, it tastes like grass. Okay, maybe it does. So 3 places that I absolutely love for matcha in Bangalore. I think one is obviously the matcha latte at Benki. They do some amazing mixes. Like you will find 4 varieties of matcha in the different ways they do it, right? The second place is a place called King Coffee in Indiranagar. It's a small outlet, not a very fancy place. They do the classic plain matcha latte,
Yeah.
right? And they also do something called dirty matcha, right? Which is a mix of espresso and matcha. And it is something that a lot of people who are familiar to coffee can appreciate it more than people who have never had matcha, right? So if you are somebody, and it gives, like, if you're habituated to the kick of coffee, it gives you an additional energy, right? The third place which I can think of, it does decent matcha latte, would be probably a Lavonne. Like they do matcha cafe, they started recently, but they use good quality matcha. I think what differentiates a good matcha place is the kind of matcha that they use, right? So a lot of good places use ceremonial grade Japanese matcha. You can make it out in the taste that you get. If you're having something which tastes very sweetish and darkish, is equivalent to the dark roast of a coffee. It's like, it feels very intense taste, but it's not matcha. Matcha is actually very grassy, earthy, a little bit delicate, right? So one thing you should do definitely when you're ordering a matcha latte is don't get the sweetened matcha powder latte, because that takes away the taste from the matcha and it gives the taste to the sugar. It's more sugary tasting. It's a pistachio milkshake it will taste like, right? So if you want to experience true matcha latte, try it without the sugar first, then add a little bit honey. Interestingly, unlike coffee, matcha goes good with honey. So if you're somebody who wants to still have it sweet, have honey instead of sugar. It gives you a great taste profile, right? So again, if you are somebody who's just wanting to have it for the hype of it, just ignore it, is what I would say.
We'll wrap this up with a section called the Yum Yum Awards. So here the intent is we'll ask each one of you rapid fire style questions for different categories, and you're supposed to call out which is your favorite. So I'm not going to be doing solo sections for each one of you, but I'll start with you, Dhimant, and then you, Vivek, and then Ameya, all at the same time. So give one answer each fast for each of these categories. Okay? All right, so let's get started with the Yum Yum Awards. Dhimant, best place in Bangalore for coffee?
Nerlu.
There's this place called Harmaki Coffee in Malleshwaram. Very good coffee.
Ameya?
Oh. This is cheating, yaar.
All right, let's come to the next one. The best patisserie / brunch place?
Humblebee.
Lavonne.
I agree with actually both Lavonne and Subko. Both of them are like, it's such a tight spot that it's very hard to distinguish and break. All right, let's come to the best hidden gem.
Best hidden gem for me would be Tribal Brew.
German pretzel house.
I'll say Isobel.
All right, best for working.
Best for working, in my head, I think the best for working would be Paper and Pie.
Okay,
I like the fast coffee.
I'd say Toffee and Talk. That's another very good one.
I mean, that was very high on my list,
Yeah.
but it's too far for me to go there every day. So
Let's talk about the best vibe.
I would say Subko.
I was also going to say
कितनी
Subko.
बार बोलोगे यार मतलब
Best
इतना प्यार।
vibe. Best
इतना bonus मिला
vibe.
तुमको।
Best vibe, I would say brown table's good.
Okay, Ameya?
BYU art.
Oh, device art is nice.
I like Konsu. I think it's got a very good vibe, very spread out. Let's talk about best value.
Best value, I would say Toffee and Talk.
What is value now? Like, is it?
तुम सबको तो बोल ही नहीं सकते इधर चांस
मैं बोला value का मतलब क्या है? Value best. I think Harmaki is also good. Harmaki.
I think Toffee and Talk again.
All right, and let's talk about my favorite one, most overhyped in Bangalore.
Araku.
से कुछ है ही नहीं है, सब अच्छा ही है.
कुछ तो बोलना पड़ेगा.
Sorry.
If you don't say anything, we'll assume Subko.
मेरे घर पे my house is overhyped. चलो.
I think anywhere where I have to spend more than 400 rupees.
Per person. Okay, go ahead. So there you have it. That was our great Bengaluru cafe crawl where we discussed different kinds of coffees. We went into different tangents of desserts. We went into different tangents of cafe food as well. And we talked about flat whites. We talked about pour overs. We talked about these cold brews and a bunch of different things. This is an experiment. This is an ode to a lot of what of you asked in the form of the Great Indian Yum Yum Show. So we've tried to bring like a different flavor to this, and we're trying to experiment and see if these are features you'd like us to do and you'd like us to do more. Then please let us know which cafe should we go to next and potentially bring you one of these episodes. If there's a restaurant in Bangalore you think we should go to, if there's a bar in Bangalore, if there's a pub in Bangalore that you think we should go, we should try certain things and bring you those kinds of yum conversations, please leave your comments and let us know. Like you know, we are broadcasting on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Castbox, Amazon Music, and all your favorite podcasting platforms out there. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, give us a shout out. We're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, and we're on YouTube. So with that, this is Dhimant, this is Ameya, this is Vivek and Aadil. And on behalf of all of us, have a great day, have a good evening. See you.
Flashing bright, we're on the go. Tune in now, there's so much to know. Earning bits, travel dreams we sow. All aboard the great Indian points and miles show. 0 to hero in the blink of an eye. Fly first class, no need to be shy. Redemption sweet, touching the sky. Award seats booked, let's give it a try. Award seats booked, let the points flow. It's all aboard the great Indian points and miles show. Unlocking journeys wherever you go. The sky's the limit, feel the travel mojo. Hidden treasures in every flight. Nights in places that feel so right. From deserts to the city lights. Get set, steal those dazzling sights. Miles stack up each passing day. Rewards come back in a million ways. In this game you want to play the great Indian adventure, yay! Award seats booked, let the points flow. It's all aboard the great Indian points and miles show. Unlocking journeys wherever you go. The sky's the limit, feel the travel mojo.